Hey, this is Parker back with an Atlanta real estate market update for November 2023. We're going to look at the numbers in just a minute, but first I wanted to touch on two trends I'm seeing right now that are hopefully moving the needle back towards housing affordability. First is something we haven't seen much of these last few years, and that is price reductions. These are houses that are taking a price drop from their original list price. Let's look at the listings for my home zip code of 30033. Now, when you look at these listings, the red arrow means a price reduction, and 14 out of 40 houses currently on the market in this zip code have had a price decrease. That's 35%. My next closest zip code is 30345, and what we see there is that 11 out of 40 houses currently on the market, or 28%, have had a price drop. Now, both of these are inside the perimeter in-town markets where things are typically a little tighter no matter what year it is. So let's take a look at a couple of outside the perimeter suburban markets. Looking at Marietta, 135 out of 378 current listings have taken a price drop. That's 36%. And finally, in Alpharetta, over a third of current listings have taken a price drop. That's 55 out of 163. So right now in Atlanta, about a third of the houses listed on the market end up taking a price drop. That's good news. Whether that's a long-term trend or just a seasonal trend, we'll have to wait and see how it turns out. The other big trend I'm seeing right now is closing credits. You probably know that when you're negotiating for the purchase of a house, you can ask for closing costs as part of the purchase. And what that means is that the seller pays part of your closing costs, whether it's for the attorney or your mortgage origination fees. The seller is agreeing to pitch in and pay part of those costs to help you close the deal. What's becoming more common, especially with higher priced homes, is a preemptive offer of closing credits like this one. This is $10,000 in closing credits, which can be used for closing costs or to do an interest rate buy down, or a combination of the two. An interest rate buy down is when the buyer or seller prepays interest in advance to lower the interest rate for the new homeowner. The most common you'll hear is called the 2-1 buy down, and that means that the interest rate is 2% lower in the first year, 1% lower in the second year, and then it reverts to the normal rate at the beginning of the third year. So if you had a 7% interest rate and a 2-1 buy down, your first year you're paying 5%, second year 6%, the start of the third year goes back up to the standard 7% rate. This is a great option for buyers and sellers because the rate buy down helps mitigate some of the pressure from these higher interest rates. And frankly, a lot of deals today wouldn't happen without it. The other nice thing is that if rates drop and the new buyer refinances within the first 2 years, the lender will typically credit that unused prepaid interest back to the principal. So it's a great way for sellers to get to win-win in an interest rate environment that's putting a lot of pressure on buyers. Now, if you've been watching my market update videos for the last year, you know the basic outlines of Atlanta's current real estate market. The nutshell version is most every homeowner refinanced into a super low interest rate back during COVID. And now that interest rates have gone up, the baby boomers and the downsizers and the empty nesters who should be downsizing into smaller homes can't afford to do it. They often have home equity lines of credit that have eaten into their equity, so downsizing is getting to be a real challenge. Because they're short on equity and because the rates have gone up, they might downsize and their house might get smaller, but their monthly payment probably won't. The result of this is that inventory has been very tight because these older homeowners aren't shedding their excess square footage and moving into smaller homes. It's created a real logjam for the move-up buyers, the people that need bigger houses right now. With houses in such limited supply, prices have not gone down, which is what most people expected would happen when the interest rates started to go up. Well, we've been tracking this all year, and I'm happy to report that in October, we saw the first year-over-year increase in new listings that we've seen since 2022. There were 74 more listings this October than last October. Not a lot, I know, but hopefully a sign that we're starting to turn the corner. That's the good news. The bad news is that we're still down over 18,000 new listings from where we were at the same time in 2022. That's an average of 1,800 fewer listings every single month this year. Ouch. So it won't surprise you to learn that home values in Atlanta are still increasing on average about 0.7% every month. Let's look at days on market. The median days on market is 15, which is unchanged from last October. So half the houses in Atlanta are selling in less than 2 weeks. The average days on market is 32 days, which is just a few days longer than the same time last year. So if you have a home here that's in good condition, it will probably sell in 2 weeks. And even an average home is going to sell in about 4 to 5 weeks. So homeowners are still sitting in the catbird seat. Now, I know this may look a bit gloomy, but when we look at months of supply for inventory, we do see some improvements. Look at the trend line since January of 2022, when inventory bottomed out at 1.1 months supply. It's been a general trend upwards to now, nearly 2 years later. We see 2.8 months of inventory, the highest number since April of 2020, right when COVID hit. So although the media loves to feed you the doom and gloom about the housing market, there are some bright spots on the horizon. As I've said, it might take a while for the logjam to get unstuck, but sometimes log jams don't just slowly become unstuck, they kind of burst. So we'll have to wait and be patient and see. So as always, if you're thinking of making the move to Atlanta or thinking of making an investment in Atlanta, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the box below. Always love to hear from people. Always love to talk. Always love to help. Thanks for watching.